It's January and we've already seen some transfer business, plus the fact, at the end of today's episode, I cannot believe how tight this title race still is. There could be 3 points still between the top 4 and 4 points between the top 5. That is massively impressive and really opens it up to everyone. Even our Merseyside rivals, Everton. Imagine if they won the league before us. Hello there folks and welcome to part 9 of season 2 of our Liverpool save on FM20. Today is time for the first leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final against our big rivals, of course, Manchester United and the top of the table side, followed by a game in the Premier League at home against Chelsea. And it's quite poignant, that game against Chelsea, because it was the last game we lost anywhere on the 3rd of October 2020 at Stamford Bridge. Ever since then, yes, we've had a few draws, but we have been unbeaten ever since then. But let's focus first on the EFL Cup. Before we do that, let's have a look at the 4 games we've played since the last episode. Now, we went and won the FIFA Club World Cup in style, and then we went and beat Norwich in style. Norwich, if you didn't know, have been took over by Gerrard, and I really did think this would be a tough match, but we absolutely slaughtered them. Mario Balotelli getting an early goal, you can see, pardon me, after the FIFA Club World Cup. This was a rotated side. Milner made it 2-0 within 13 minutes, and then Sadio Mane in brilliant form. A 13-minute hat-trick. He is one of the best players in the world at the moment. I don't think you can argue against that. An average rating of 7.36 this year. If we look in the Premier League, he's only actually had 6 goals, which is surprising considering he's had 3 against Norwich. Has he scored more in other competitions? Perhaps he's just not done as well goal-scoring-wise than I thought he had done, but he's done magnificently, really. An average rating of 7.36. Fantastic player for the team, and another man of the match, certainly. But Milner, a beautiful goal from him, but 5-0 against Norwich. And then we had a really frustrating match. Balotelli playing again, getting another goal. Really good to see, and I wish this bloody fixtures thing would stay. There we go, as it should be. So 2 goals in 2 games for Mario Balotelli starting, which was really good for him. We gave Firmino a bit of a rest. He scored a goal and it was 1-0. I thought it's not going to be the best of wins, but it'll be manageable and we'll get it. Unfortunately, Trent Alexander-Arnold got injured just before that goal, and he is out for the next few weeks. So that's a little bit of a shame. He's going to be out for this semi-final against United. But rather stupidly, we conceded a penalty 94 minutes in. It was after the time. I think there was 3 minutes added, and it was about 93.5 minutes in. And as you can guess, Watford went and scored the penalty. And that is the sort of game, particularly in such a tight Premier League season, where it could be one of those where we would really slip up. You can see we've had a few draws so far this year. Our first drop points at home, I believe, actually, since that loss we had against Bournemouth. So I think we've dropped points on Boxing Day last year as well, if I remember. But just the way the Premier League works on FM, we played against Watford again, and we made sure we beat them this time. Although, to be fair, Watford were 1-0 ahead, and I thought, typical bloody Miles from Sports Interactive. He's tried to ruin our season with 2 consecutive games against Watford, but luckily, a penalty from Salah and a late winner from Mario Balotelli. I didn't know that was his middle name. He made it 2-1 to the Reds. And he's starting not to do too badly. I said that I was a little bit worried about his form. But he's got an average rating of a 7. I mean, that's not too bad. 4 goals from 11 appearances. Granted that, I mean, what's that? In 3 of those games, actually 5, 6 of those games, he's come as a sub. So 5 starts for Balotelli. He's scored on 3 out of 4 of those starts. 3 out of 5 of those starts. So massively impressive. Yeah, that's not too bad from Balotelli at all. So hopefully he can continue that form coming in today's episode. And we've beaten Stoke as well. We had a young side out there and we beat Stoke by 1-0 to get through to the next round of the FA Cup as well. So in terms of the Carabao Cup, it isn't a competition we have broadcast on the channel so far this year. But 3 very good wins. We beat Millwall, of course, Jake Kane's first goals for the club. Leeds, we beat them on a penalty shootout. We beat Chelsea with a Shaqiri goal. We have today's match against Manchester United. After that heavy 5-1 defeat we've suffered at the start of the save, we've definitely had the better of Ollie's side, beating them 1-0 and 2-1 in the last 2 games. And as I've said, things have happened. Things have changed. And firstly, we're going to talk about the outs. We've had 1 out, and that is Dejan Lovren. Dejan Lovren has gone to China. He's joined China for £10 million. He's gone to Shanghai. His contract was out at the end of the season. As you can see, he's played 3 games this year, and I felt horrible because we sold him about the 15th of December. And my intention, I put him in on the bench against Watford to play 5 or 10 minutes, and I felt horrible because I didn't bring him on. I think in the intensity of going to win that match, we didn't bring him on, and I feel really horrible about that. But not a lot of games this year, but I think that the 20 million we paid for him has been well deserved, really, and a good sign in the end. And of course, we recouped half of that, so 10 million for a player who's give surface for what's that, 6, 7, 8 years. You can't complain at that at all. But using some of that money, we bought a player in who you might think is a bit of a waste. We bought in a striker. I know we bought in a striker last year with Balotelli, of course, and we did bring in Texera, technically, as a striker. But our net spend to add is still 13 million in the plus, of course, because we have sold players, and I think we've spent very shrewdly. But Milik is a player who comes in, we're just going to call him Milik, I can't be bothered with that first name. But the 26-year-old, a real Napoli star, he just didn't want to be at the club anymore. Obviously, the club didn't want him, I don't really get that. But still a good start to this season already, a 7.2 average rating, 9 goals in 16. And to be honest, it was one of those signings at 34.5 million. He's 26 years of age, really at the best of his game, at the peak of his career. A good player for both Premier League sides. Scrap Mane and Salah up front because they're not natural forwards. Firmino is getting on a little bit. He is 29, 30 at the end of this year. Of course, it is 21 now. Origi has got some interest, although that's probably gone off now, typical. We did set his asking price to 80 million, though. That seems a little bit stupid. I know Real Madrid wants Origi. And then obviously we've got Balotelli at the age of 30. So Milik just comes in as that younger striker. And I think in the next 6 months he could utilise him very well. And it was somebody on the transfer market, and I just thought, why not? But he doesn't play today's game against Manchester United. I don't want to take that risk just yet. Arsenal have already beat Manchester City in the first leg of that tie, so interested to see how that will go. We've made a few rotational changes because of the match, but we have started to take this competition seriously now. It would be our first EFL Cup win since 2011, I believe, against Cardiff. Yes. If we do go on to win the competition, of course. But we've got to get past Manchester United in these 2 matches first. So, in the team today, we have Adrian in goal, who's played throughout the competition. We've got Omar, Gomez, Matip and Ita at the back. Good to comment that Ita's had a good start to his career at Liverpool, it seems. He's done very well in the matches he's played. It is bold to say that, really. I suppose you could say that he's played against Norwich, Watford. I mean, he played well against Chelsea, to be fair to him. But against Burnley, Leeds, Brighton. He's not played against the big teams. This will definitely be his biggest challenge as a starter. Definitely. Then we've got Fabinho, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and then your normal 2 wingers with Balotelli up front. As I've said, I'm just giving Firmino a little bit of a break. He did play in the last game. Did he play in the last game? I don't think he has. I don't think he's played for a bit now. I'm just giving Balotelli a run in the side at the moment. You will notice that the new signing Milik is not on the bench, but he only joined the club yesterday, so I'm going to give him a bit of a run out for the under-18s tomorrow, and then he might potentially come off the bench in the West Brom game, or even the match against Chelsea later on in today's episode. But Mason Greenwood, the only striker for Man United, I wonder how he's getting on this year. To be fair, he's done pretty well. 6 goals, 7.15 average rating. Where's Rashford? Where is Marcus Rashford? I'm interested in this. Hang on a minute. Where is Marcus Rashford? Has he gone? Rashford. He's still at the club. Bloody hell, Pogba's gone. Is Rashford injured? Yes, he is. Ooh, he's out between 2 and 5 weeks. That's definitely going to help us out. How's he got on this year? Unavailable for the player. It's a bit of pants. But overall, yeah, 7.28. Even though he only had 3 goals this year. Interesting. Well, 9. I mean, he's done well this year. So we've got away with not facing Marcus Rashford, who's a really good player. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Harry Maguire, their captain, interestingly, and he starts today alongside Twanzebe, Wan-Bissaka and Shaw in the defence. It's clear they've made attacking signings. I mean, Arthur, Zielinski, Olmo and Stengs are all new. So interesting then. Sanchez is back from his loan as well. So we're going to tell the lads, I'm going to be assertive here. Man United have won 4 of the last 5 games. But if we're at our best, we can deny them here. And I know somebody commented yesterday. I did have a look at this. I don't think he's very far off yet. Talking about Milik already. Nice one. Somebody was talking about the instruction to stay on feet the other day. And they said that I'd got my information wrong. I wasn't doubting that for a second. That it's actually more likely to concede a foul. I've looked online. And I can't see that information anywhere. That the stay on feet tactic works as I propose, that unless it's absolutely necessary, a player won't make a sliding challenge and will try and win the ball cleanly. That's what I understand by stay on feet, and I think the stuff from the online forums has rather confirmed that. But if I am wrong, just please let me know, and we're certainly not going to get stuck in, that is for sure. And Balotelli nearly scores his 3rd goal in as many starts, and if he's a player who can get, if he can get going, it's going to be very tricky for Milik to get into the side, because Balotelli is, I mean, he was 3rd choice already. I know Origi's not played much this year, But he was third choice already, Balotelli was, and you know, if he's getting a decent run in the side, Origi can't get a run in the side. Milik might not get a run in the side at all, but he's definitely a player that we don't have to use in this year. It's not. I don't think we will be continuing. Certainly, if we win the league, I don't think we'll be continuing the save on in terms of YouTube anyway. In terms of an FM20 save on YouTube, if we win the league, that's my goal. To win the league, we won the Champions League, so if we win the league, I think my job's done here. But in terms of a future player, I think he's a solid player. But look at that run from Mo Salah, a good save from David De Gea. But in terms of action, really so far, it's not been all that dramatic. Half an hour in though here at Old Trafford. Of course, don't think the fans will be liking us too much, but hopefully it's nothing like the disgusting behaviour from the City fans the other night. But a very good run from Wan-Bissaka here, and Omar just trying to close him down. The sort of play we want. We don't want him to go sliding in. It just seems silly that doesn't it? Just gives away cards, fouls, and potentially penalties, and ultimately goals. Balotelli nearly gets that ball, but De Gea gets up and grabs that one. But an interesting start here, very much end to end it seems, and fairly balanced in terms of the stats so far. But a very good win from Gomez there. Granted, Luke Shaw gets it back, but nevertheless, good stuff from Gomez to avert the danger. But Martial might be having another go, but Chamberlain does very well to get there. But ultimately, we still, after two good tackles, having alleviate the danger. That's exactly what stay on feet is for, in my opinion. But he's given a foul. What's he given a foul for? No foul. There you go. But half an hour in here, we are starting to look a little bit tetchy. Gomez is a little bit tired. Don't particularly know why that is. I don't see why there'd be any reason. But good pressure being put on by our lads on their defenders. We're going to increase that furthermore, I think. You know, I think we're going to press on De Gea. And we're going to press on the young centre-back, Axel Tuanzebe, try and put the pressure on him. I think he's a player who could sleep up. I could be completely wrong, but if it could win us a goal, I think it's completely worth pressing on him quite tightly. But a good ball to Greenwood. Greenwood runs through. Very solid run from Mason Greenwood. But Adrian does very well to turn it around the post. I think he played against Stoke. He did. He would have done. And the saves he was pulling off against Stoke. I mean, it was pretty embarrassing. We only beat Stoke 1-0, really. But yeah, he was unstoppable. Some of the saves he was pulling off. It's really tricky sometimes to keep him out of the side. I mean, you watch. He'll go and concede 5 or 6 now to say I've said that. But another good save there. Good to see. But Joel Matip makes it 1-0. A real first fumble, you have to say, of the game from David De Gea, as he alludes to at the bottom of the screen there. You could see that in the 2D. It's a second goal of the season from Matip. No doubt it's probably his second goal of the season from a set piece. A lovely ball from Mo Salah. And Matip just gets ahead of De Gea. De Gea completely misjudges that. And we go 1-0 up away from home. Don't know if there are away goals in the Carabao Cup. I can't really remember. But we'll soon find out. But I'm not going to complain about getting an away goal at all. We're ahead at half-time at Old Trafford. We'll be showing, of course, the second leg of this in the next episode. We can't show both today because there's a massive gap between them. There's about a 24-day gap between them. So we'd have to do 6 videos, 6 games off camera, which just seems a little bit unrealistic. Plus the fact there are a few big games in between. But interestingly, Greenwood, who's only got a 6.6 rating, has been bought off in place of Jesse Lingard. Have moved Martial to the main forward, and we'll have to see how the Frenchman gets on. Very good, very useful player when he can be. But Lingard, the new man on, and Adrian makes the save. I just do what the problem with new men coming on, as you can see. Yeah, Lingard's got nothing on him. There's no pressure on him at all. That's the problem with setting your own opposition instructions. They don't dynamically change. You have to ask your assistant, unless it comes up on the screen. We ought to mark Martial or Lingard, of course, the player who's just come on. But at the moment, it doesn't seem it's making too much of a difference. An odd ball from Tuanzebe. I wonder if that is because of our pressure we've been putting on. Probably not. But we don't want to big ourselves up too much. Mo Salah's trying to find a way through to Chamberlain. He shoots and De Gea secures the ball. I think it's fair to say it's been an interesting match so far. A bit of a cagey affair, it has to be said. Manchester United not showing their best performance. But it has to say, we've not really got the biggest margin at the moment either. But Stengs on the wing tries to beat Itter. Itter's still putting the pressure on. And decent stuff from Itter, and this is good stuff. I mean, foul? Foul? That is no way a foul. Let's say not a foul. This referee has been a bit dubious, I'll tell you that much. There's been 2 fouls given outside the box now by both fullbacks that weren't a foul. So I just do wonder if one of those slips up. We all know VAR can be a bit inconsistent. If one of those slips up, if one of those is given, we could concede a goal a bit unfairly here. But they are playing with some intensity, Manchester United. I agree that. I also agree and realise that we haven't made a substitution yet. That is a little bit of a problem. So we might have to change that in a minute. But if we do score here, that might well change the position that we make the substitution in. Mane on the wing cuts inside Wan-Bissaka with a very good block. But it was Mane who missed the target. Bear in mind this is only a cup game. So we're going to bring Van Dijk on for Gomez. And we're also going to bring Shaqs on for Mo Salah. Make it a double substitution. There's 20 minutes to go. Make sure we keep that one substitution open. Because against Manchester United, absolutely anything can happen. But not the best game today, I must admit. It's always typical that these Northwest derbies, they're all like, oh, come on, it's going to be a great match. You know, everybody in England's watching it. And it has to be said, a lot of these derbies over the last few years in real life have been pretty mundane. Especially, there's been a few 0-0s, that's for certain. But Lingard gets his first yellow card of the season. But now he is sprinting through. He's got a good counter-attack going in him. Omar wins the ball initially. Fabinho becoming the second man there. Very nice stuff. Van Dijk hoofs the ball up. Not really good enough from Balotelli to not get that there. But that being said, the defender was always favoured to get to that. Quintero, very good tackle from Italy. He's done very well out on that left-hand side today. And I don't think he'll be challenging Robertson for a permanent spot, but he's certainly doing well. Mane, it seems all the left wingers are doing well here. Shaqiri into Milner, and Milner misses a bit of an open goal. We are playing with some good intensity. There's good highlights from us. I think at the end of the day, to beat the team top of the Premier League is a pretty good standard, to be honest. I don't think we can complain at that whatsoever. It'd just be nice if it was in the Premier League, I think, rather than in the Carabao Cup. But I think we have beaten them. The only loss that Manchester United have suffered all season was against us in the league. Anyway, I don't know about other competitions. But this will be at least their second defeat, and the second defeat against us. A bit of a boring match, I have to confess, even though 31 shots suggests perhaps a different story. But in terms of the highlights, nothing fantastic. But we beat Manchester United 1-0. So, very good stuff. But onwards and upwards to the Chelsea game, which might just put us there or thereabouts in the Premier League. I know I wasn't going to come back between these two games, but I honestly feel that this match against West Brom is going to be a massive opportunity. United have lost to Norwich, only their second defeat of the season. And City have lost to Chelsea, the team, of course, that we're playing next week. And, of course, that will be... Well, it was after a Tammy Abraham double. That was all I was going for. I mean, look at the top scorers this season, to be fair. Everton, Palace and Leicester. I mean, we're sniffing with Mane and Salah, but nowhere near the Vardy, Ayew. I mean, Jordan Ayew is the biggest surprise out of those three. It has to be said. And Palace, unbelievably, still in 11th. But if we win both of these games in hand, we will get top of the Premier League. So you'll have to find out how we get on against West Brom, but I feel like it could be a bit of a struggle, and we've given the pressure under, especially now given today's results. Sometimes you just get a hunch, don't you? It's going to be a big episode. Arsenal dropped points as well at Leicester. United won against Bournemouth, but the bargain still remains that if we win our two games in hand, which it still is against over Manchester United, we go 1 point clear at the top of the Premier League. And because City lost, of course, Everton are now above them in second place. Chelsea are in 6th, albeit with a new manager. Frank Lampard got sacked a few weeks ago. Didier Deschamps returns to Chelsea, of course, after playing for them for a season. As their manager, I'm very worried about him, actually, because, of course, they're the team who beat Man City. And I think a mid-season run is so important if you're going to go and win the title. As I've said, ever since that game against Chelsea, we have really gone for it and really done well. Apart from 3 draws along the way, we have won every single match. And some of those matches against Manchester United, against Chelsea in the EFL Cup, albeit. But some very solid wins along that way. And this is a big match. It's a big month with the match against Leicester next. These two matches are going to be pretty big. Now, obviously, no history against Deschamps, but in 5 games we have won 4 of them. And hopefully, it's not a repeat of that 3-1, of course, that we did suffer earlier on in this season. But we did go and beat West Brom by 1-0. I'm glad I actually showed that. Our first home game, by the way, of 2021. Good to note that one. Shaqiri got a goal in, and that was all really. That was all she wrote. And Milik did get an appearance, but only a 15-minute one. And he might make a further appearance today. Who knows? But anyway, we've got Alisson in goal. With Gomez, Van Dijk, Matip, and Robertson at the back. With Berge, and Milner in the midfield. With Salah, Mane, and Firmino. The normal front three. Up front. You might be asking, where's Henderson? I don't know if I mentioned about Henderson before. He's still out for between 9 days and 4 weeks. He's played pretty well on demand this year. When he's been chosen, he's played very well. But ultimately, the only other midfield we've got, 2 midfielders, is Fabinho's on the bench, and Naby Keita, who's just well out of sorts. He's not been in the squad at all this year. he's not really impressed me. And I know Real Madrid are interested in him, so they can have him, to be honest. Because I just don't think he fits in anymore with our squad. And I think younger options certainly won't hurt. We've got Tammy Abraham, though, playing up front for the Chelsea, as it alludes to their top goal scorer. They've got Mason Mount, most assists. This is a bit frightening, especially for a team who are in 6th. And by the way, before we do continue, this just shows how soft Tottenham have been. Of course, Chelsea have sacked their manager for being 6th or 7th. Jurgen Klopp's still at Tottenham. 25 points from 20 matches. I mean, to be fair, I think he's been given the old points target, because in the last 5 games, last 4 Premier League games anyway, they've won all of them. But to be fair, you'd expect them to go win all of them. That game against Arsenal on Saturday is a big test for them. But they still remain with Jurgen. I love Jurgen Klopp, but you know, you've only got to look at the example of Mauricio Pochettino. Should he have been sacked earlier? Let me know down in the comments. We're going to be assertive, say that, yeah, we're better than Chelsea. Go and beat them. This is a big game at home. I am a little bit worried about this game. I just feel it could be. It's a big game. It's a massive game. I think it really is one of the biggest games of our season. Mason Mount injured within the first few minutes. I think that's one of the best pieces of news we want to hear, really. I hope he's alright, obviously, but in being injured, he's out for the rest of the game. That's all that matters to me. And we could have an early chance there here. Mane with a good ball through to Salah. Salah just runs through the Chelsea defence to Bobby Firmino. Yes, it's 1-0 to Liverpool. Bobby Firmino back in the squad for this game against Chelsea. And within 6 minutes, we take the lead. I'll tell you something, I was really worried. I was just about to mention Deschamps was in charge, new manager, and all that sort of thing. But Mo Salah with a beautiful run. Ultimately, the front three combine as they should do. A lovely ball from Mane all the way through to Salah. Salah with a good run. Combines with Bobby Firmino. Makes it his 11th goal of the season. All the strikers now, well, the front three as I like to call them, have scored over 10 goals. That is a pretty impressive stat. Albeit that we haven't maybe got the top scorer like Chelsea having Abraham. We've got the depth of scoring. Milner contributes with the odd one. Oxlade-Chamberlain does. And even Joel Matip contributes with the odd one. At the moment, we are not looking too bad. Despite, much like the match against Chelsea in the EFL Cup, much like not being the team who's dominated, rather being the team who having the less possession, we are making it count, and that is all that matters at the moment. And apart from that pretty drab highlight, we do look the team that is playing better at the moment. Arsenal are leading in their game, so they're up to 3rd for the time being. But this Premier League table, whilst everything sorts itself out, especially us being in the FIFA Club World Cup, FA Cup, Champions League, it's going to get a bit messy. I think that hopefully at some point all the games will be balanced. But there are, I think, 4 games going on tonight. There's ourselves, the Watford game against Arsenal, as you can see. Watford just got a goal back against Arsenal, West Ham and Southampton. So that's an interesting set of games. But Man City not playing today. But as you can see, if the result stays as it is, we do move 2 points clear of Man City and a point clear of Everton. And obviously the only team in our way then is Manchester United and this Premier League title race. I mean, actually, as it stands, if we went and won our game in hand and so did Everton and City, what would it be? It would be 4 points. It'd be 4 points. Jesus. 4 points between the top 5 at this stage of the season. I have to say, I apologise. This game has been rubbish, hasn't it? But we're winning. That is all that matters at the moment. We are winning. As I've said, it's been rubbish, but we're winning. We're going to have to bring Fabinho on at fullback, because we haven't actually got another option on the bench. That's something I completely forgot to put in. I don't know why we haven't put a central midfielder in either. That's a bit of a worry. I want to bring one of these two off, but we've actually not got any option unless we bring Fabinho off. Or put Fabinho in there. That's why I've put in there. But there wasn't any fullback replacement. But Gomez is knackered. So what we are going to do, I think a midfielder is going to be more important. So I think we bring Fabinho on for Milner. Yeah, we're going to have to keep it like that. We're going to have to let Joe Gomez suffer a little bit. Bring Shaqiri on for Sadio Mane, who's tired a little bit. That will only improve the squad. We're going to see what happens here, though. Shaqiri, the new substitute, into Bobby Firmino, straight to Kepa. I was going to say, if it was a goal there, I might change things about. We've gone to positive. Going to tell the lads we demand a little bit more off them. And hopefully this isn't the Chelsea equaliser about to witness here. Reece James, good pressure being put on here. But Sander Berge, a really good header. That puts us back in our court. Mo Salah, can he turn goal scorer? Not quite. Mo Salah tries again. But it is a corner to the Reds. Can we continue this run? It's a fantastic run. You have to say it is title-winning form. But a loss or two, of course, that could all completely crash down. I understand that the teams around us aren't playing the best, but ultimately, the only thing you can do is keep up your side of the bargain. You can win the games that you're playing, ultimately. And that is exactly what we are doing at the moment. Joe Gomez is absolutely knackered. So, unfortunately, it is Van Dijk he was going to have to take that horrible job of playing at right back for a few minutes. Hopefully that's not going to be too damaging, but Laporte comes on at centre-back to give us a little bit of solidarity at the back. And we're going to go cautious. We're going to tell the lads to tighten up. It's a 1-0 lead, much like against West Brom. And funnily enough, I mean, we get the 3 points, absolutely fantastic. What a boring game again, 27 shots. And I mean, really weird. But a very good win for us, not to be understated whatsoever. But I believe in 4 games this year, 4 games in January, it's been 4 1-0 wins, which I'm not going to complain about whatsoever. It's 12 points, I suppose, irrespective of the competition, really. Let's have a look how Arsenal got, and they did win their match in the end. Yeah, I think it's 4 1-0s. Is it? Yes, it is. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Well, it's 4 clean sheets and 4 goals. I will take that every day of the week. In Thursday's episode, we're going to play against Man United in that EFL Cup semi-final. And to make things interesting, we'll play against Arsenal in that episode as well. But a lot of televised matches going on. This title race is really, really hotting up. Be interested to see how Man City get on in their game of hand. Tottenham against Arsenal is big at the weekend. Man City have got West Brom. Who is that actual game in hand? Which one's been moved to facilitate this FA Cup replay, actually, against Everton? I can't tell at the moment which one that's going to be. It might even be later on, but they've got a pretty big schedule. They've got Chelsea and Everton. That's going to be pretty tough. I mean, they lost to Chelsea in the league. I mean, they're not looking great. The only win they've had this year is against Everton. Man City, much like in real life, slipping up a little bit. Well, for us, we've got to play a few games in the Prem, haven't we? We've got to play Leicester and Brighton before the next match. Fingers crossed it's 6 points. I mean, we dropped points against Brighton, didn't we, early on in the season? And an away match at, presumably still, Brendan Rodgers Leicester. Might be a little bit of a challenge, but if we are going to win the title, those are the sort of games we've got to go and win. But if you have enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below. It does help massively, as I always say, every single episode. Comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular FM content. But until the next time, thank you very much for your company today. 2 brilliant wins. It is title winning form, and fingers crossed we can continue that. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.